Good morning, church family. First of all, Mrs. Carter, that was so beautiful. And my name is Lunceford. I'm on the Stewardship Committee, and when Pastor Joe asked me to speak on, he's asked me to speak on the nature of stewardship. I just want to acknowledge the leadership of our Stewardship Committee with our chair, Dave Johnson. I see many of the members here, and really on behalf of all of us, we want to thank you all so much for everything you all have given to our church. And you know, from my perspective, as many of you know, for my entire life, I've been here at First Baptist. There's few memories I have that predate this beautiful sanctuary. So this church means a lot to me, as I know it means so much to each and every one of you. When Pastor Joe asked me to speak, he said I could take as long as I would like, but I just want to assure everyone my intention is to keep it concise so that we can still beat the Methodists out to lunch. So I'll be quite concise and to the point. You know, many of you are probably expecting me to talk about our preschool or our sanctuary or our operations or all of the things that the Stewardship Committee embarks upon our work when we do our fiscal oversight. But I really want to talk about the nature of stewardship and why it is we do what we do. One of the common truisms in our world is people will often say life isn't fair, the world isn't fair. And I often think when people say that, well, they're actually quite correct. It isn't a just world. It actually is a merciful world. And it's merciful not because of man, it's merciful because of the sacrifice that Jesus made for each and every one of us. Our work on stewardship is to give a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of that sacrifice to each and every one of us and to Jesus. As Mrs. Carter said so beautifully, like the boy who puts himself in the offering plate, whatever we can give to our church is something that we do to contribute to God's work. And like I said, from the Stewardship Committee, we are so grateful for each and every one of you and what you've given, and we are, of course, looking forward to give as much as we can as members of this church. Talking to Pastor Joe earlier, I also was thinking about what the church means for the wider world and what our work here at First Baptist really means for not only everyone in this room, but for our community and for society. We see two models in the Bible. The first model is a negative one. It's the Tower of Babel. It's the work of a society that puts itself and its pride over the work of God. But the second model, one that I'm quite inspired by, was first articulated by John Winthrop in 1630 when he talked about the shining city on the hill. And he was referencing, of course, Jesus Christ's Sermon on the Mount when Christ says, "A city on the hill cannot be hidden." And that is a society that is honorable, that is just, that is holy, that is striving to do what it can do best. And I say this because so many of us think that to get to that level requires grand efforts of leadership. But it's really about what each and every one of us can do as individuals, as members of this church. And it's this church as a whole that can steward our world towards that shining city on the hill. And so as we think about stewardship, it's not simply just about our donation. It's not simply about our tithes and offerings. It's about doing, as Mrs. Carter said, putting each and every one of everything that we have into that offering plate for our church so that our church, First Baptist Church, can better steward our world and our society towards that city on the hill that we all know it can be. Let us go forth with love, with grace, and with a weather eye towards all that is good. On behalf of the Stewardship Committee, I want to thank each and every one of you for what you've given, and on behalf of all of us here in First Baptist Church, thank you so much.